instructional videos. Today we are going to set up the show and rise. So first thing you want to do is remove all the parts from this case to counter. Now that I have all my parts laid out, the first thing I'm going to do is identify the top of my frame. So the top of the frame will have the light clips on it. I'm going to lift up on the light clips and put them into position. Now that I have all my light clips flipped up, the next thing I'm going to do is put together the lights and connect them to my frame. So to connect the lights, you're going to need the black connectors, the 2 pull pins, the 2 lights, and the USB plug-in. I'm just going to zip my light case shut and just put it in the case to counter. So to connect together the lights, you're going to take one of the black pieces and you're going to connect it to the back end of the light. And when you're connecting the black piece, you want to make sure that it is angled up towards the light. I'm just going to align the holes and using a push pin, secure it into place. Now that I have the pieces connected to my light, I'm just going to simply slide them onto my frame. So I'm just going to slide it onto the light clip. I'm going to repeat for the other light. And then I'm just going to angle down my lights, and I can adjust them later once the display has been set up. And then I'm just going to set the plug-in off to the side until I'm ready to plug my lights in. Next thing I'm going to do is lift up on my frame, making sure that the cords of the light stay out of the frame. So I'm just going to lift up. Once I have my display all the way up, the next thing I'm going to do is lock it into place. So I'm just going to begin pushing the clips together, and you can just work left to right, beginning to push the clips in. Now that I have my locking clips attached, the next thing I'm going to do is attach my mag rails. So when attaching the mag rails, you want to make sure you have identified the top. The top of the mag rail will have the pins where you're going to connect your graphic. So starting at the bottom and in the back of the display, we're going to work our way around clockwise. So I'm just going to insert the first mag rail over the hub on the bottom of the display. And at the same time, I'm going to also align it with the hub in the middle of the display. Once I have my first mag rail attached, I'm just going to begin to work around my display. Now that I have my mag rails all attached, the next thing I'm going to do is lay out my panels. I'm going to keep them in the plastic to make sure that I don't scratch them. Now that I have my panels all laid out in the order they're going to go on my frame, I'm going to begin to remove the plastic and attach them to my frame. With the plastic, I'm going to save the plastic and put it in my case to counter so that when I do disassemble my display, I can put the plastic back over my graphic to prevent any scratching. So I'm just going to gently remove the graphic from the plastic. And then using the notches on the top, I'm going to connect it to the notches on the top of my mag rail. And I like to gently curve it in, kind of like a hot dog bun as I call it, to attach the knobs on the top. You want to be very careful that you're not going to crease your graphic. Once you have the notches connected, you're just going to run your hand down the graphic, making sure that the magnets attach to each other. And you want to be very gentle. Once I have my graphic attached, I'm just going to fold up the plastic and put it into my case to counter. And then I'm going to continue to work around the frame. So I'm going to attach my next graphic. Now that I have my panels attached, the next thing I'm going to do is put together my case to counter. So I'm just going to attach the top and lock it into place. And then I'm going to put the top on. And the next thing I'm going to do is attach the graphic. So using the hook and loop strips, I'm just going to wrap it around the case to counter. And then I'm just going to secure it into place using the hook and loop strip. And the last thing I'm going to do is plug in my lights. Using the plug-in, you're going to attach it into the wall and then insert the 2 USBs. It is just that easy to set up your Show and Rice pop-up display.